All right, everybody. Hey, everybody. Happy Saturday. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're getting a chance to tune in or listen to this, or if you're even watching the recording. My name is Anthony Moreland, and normally I have a slew of people that will be on this call hosting with me as well, but a lot of our leaders are in Tahiti, or they actually, a lot of them about to get ready to start heading back. But I said, well, I can do this call. I'll go ahead and still knock it out because I know there's going to be people waiting to get onto the call. So today is going to be a little different, everybody. I have a couple of things I'm going to talk about, but I see some amazing leaders on here that have experience in this industry as well. So I will ask them also to tune in and give me some of their feedback. And if we have time, I'll do a little Q&A for anybody as well. Maybe I can answer a couple of questions. But one of the things I wanted to educate everybody on is something that I was asked by the great Susan Frank to put together. She asked me, was there a way to put a calendar together so we could see where all these events are going on? And I was like, well, I've never made one. I've never done it, so I was like, hey, let me see what I can do. And I was able to create one. The only thing bad is the only thing I guess would say bad is I personally have to go and put them all in one by one. But I'm willing to do that. But so I created one. So if you go to researchmoa.com /events, or if you just go to researchmoa.com and then click on events, either way, it'll pull up the calendar. And I even got some from Moreland because I knew I heard her mention some in Canada. So as the events are coming in, if you would do me a favor, if you will find, your officers and above you, and just have them message me the flyer. And then I will most of the time on Sundays, it's normally my day that's not so busy where I can actually type it in and put them all in one by one. But on Sundays, Saturdays and Sundays, I'm gonna work on getting each one of those events up. And I also have it color coordinated. So you'll be able to yes, that's correct, Miss Susan. Yes, ma'am. Um, and yeah, it's color coordinated, so you can go by state, by country. I don't know how it works in Canada with states, but I think it's provinces. Marlene, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's provinces. So I tried to do my best. I asked Marlene, she said I did great. So she's my go-to, her and TL. So I love just asking them for advice when I need it. But hey, I got them all on there. You got Canada, you got the different states. So all you need to do, if you do have one, just get it to one of the officers or so. Or if you just message me on Sunday as well, I'll put them on there as well. That's just so you can. And then there's also a share button on there, everybody. So it is a copy link on there where you can actually share that link. Maybe you have a family member. So I know Tammy is in New Mexico. If there was an event going on in New Mexico and Tammy wasn't in, I could say, hey, Tammy, are you busy this Saturday? And then if she says no, well, hey, there's an event going on Saturday in New Mexico. I would love for you to go. I just did that same invitation with my own brother because I seen it was an event by Pastor Andrews and Tammy and their team in Chicago today. So I was like, well, okay, well, my brothers, I have twin brothers up there. So I told them they need to be there. So they said, well, we're a little busy. I was like, well, you still need to be at this event. But that's really how that calendar really works. A lot of people love it. Me and Reese been working on some other things to make it even better. So when he gets back, we're going to sit down for lunch and we're going to work on it a little bit more. But then also one more thing. Oh, I think is Rob on here. Rob on here. Rob. I'm gonna see if I see Rob. He might not be on here just yet. But I also want to give congratulations to all the amazing people who have qualified for the Bahamas trip. It is going to be an amazing trip. And they qualify, utilizing their business rewards. So congratulations to everybody that qualified for that Bahamas trip. It's so exciting. Now, one of the things that Samantha asked me to talk about, she was like, well, hey, how about you talk about invitation, the invite. And because we're watching a lot of people have events, but you know, they might be a little disappointed of people not showing up. And so, and the reason they may be maybe just the invitation. Maybe just a couple of things you can tweak in your invitation to make it better. How do you make it better? You know, I was having a conversation with a lady on that's on the team this morning about the invite. Because the invite is really, I believe, so key. Because if you get good at inviting people, then it's just all up to you how many times you can do an event. Because the invitation is so key. For me, I'm still old school. I'm still old school. I don't like to text my invitation. I don't text mine. I pick up the phone. I call them. I say, hey, Marlene, one of the first tips I can give you when it comes to inviting is first just find out if they're free. Because how you going to invite somebody to something if they're busy? So if they're busy, how you invite them? So if I call Marlene, I say, hey, Marlene, how you doing? You know, we have a general conversation. Marlene, I was trying to see if you were free on Saturday. And if she says, oh, no, I have a birthday party to go to. Oh, no, I have this, then she's not free. So there's no need for me to invite her. Well, what is it, though? Oh, never mind. You're already busy. Maybe I can catch you at the next time, catch you on my next event. I don't even give the person the opportunity to start going. I don't even start telling them what I was inviting them to. They're busy. Because what I want them to do is I want them to come to the event. I want them to sit down and see the presentation, whether that is an event, whether that's a 2-on-1 coffee shop, whether that's a Zoom. Now social media has gotten us out there with the skinny drops, but even on the invitation to that, to setting up their next Zoom, maybe they reached out to me about the drops. Maybe they can't afford them, but they want to learn how they can get it for free. I don't go into detail about how they get it for free. I set the appointment. And a lot of times what I'm seeing is the people who get good at setting the appointment are the ones who's having more success. So if you want to have more success, get good at setting the appointment. Get real good at setting the appointment. I see Sonya Enfinger on here. Sonya is to me by far, if not one, she's probably two at the least, or 1A, 1B at inviting people to get down to the presentation. Sonya, would you mind unmuting and giving us some tips on what you do when you're setting appointments? Because I'm telling you this, me and Todd are come to Huntsville, Alabama, and we going from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. with people when Sonya is involved in setting the appointment. So Sonya, what is it that you do to help set those appointments?
Hey, Aunt, good to see everybody. Listen, I'm on the road right now to go to Crossville, Alabama. So I have set an appointment. Actually, two of my brand partners have set an appointment with me to do a presentation, a health and wellness presentation with Benita and Joyce and Diane. So they're growing their little team over there right now. And so I'm on my way right now. And as far as inviting people, I'll give you an example of one thing that happened just this past week. Have you ever heard of low-hanging fruit? We've got a lot of low-hanging fruit here. So that means that the discussion has been made, planting seeds. And so setting the appointment is that you make the time, you make a call. I had a young man the other day, and he was reaching out to me, cold calling me. And I'm driving, so I'm not looking at the phone. Okay, guys? But anyway, he called me, and he was cold calling me for a copiers. And so he wants my business, and I got a chance to chat with him a little bit. Young man, hungry man for business, because he's trying to grow the business and then buy the business. So he says to me, I said, well, honey, how'd you get my name and number? He said, well, I went through a company list, and he said, I saw your name, and he said, I wanted to call and see if it might be an opportunity for me to help you save some money on your copiers. And I said, well, sure. And so after I got to talking with him, I knew he knew how to do business. If I'm cold calling people and planting seeds, he's already doing the same thing. And I said, well, how many people do you call a day? And he told me, and he said, I call 100 people a day and leave a message. And then I set an appointment. So I knew I wanted to talk with this young man. I don't normally give copier printer people, my time, because I've already got a copying company. But what I did, Anthony, was I set the appointment with him. And I asked, when I did set the appointment, I said, well, hey, listen, I said, I might be able to help you open some doors for your printing company. I said, but also you might have an interest you're hungry to try and make some money because that's what he told me. I listened to what he had to say. So we're always listening for the nugget, for the takeaway, and how we can help them. And I said, let's set an appointment. And I said, I'll be happy to meet with you about your printing company. I said, but you might also have an interest in how to make some additional residual income. Would that work for you? And he said, absolutely. So we set the appointment. We talked. We met at Barnes & Noble. And now I have a second meeting with him on Wednesday at 10 a.m. with Kim Gray, and we will close the deal with him. So that's just an example. I could talk more, but I won't steal the thunder for the rest of the people to share. Have a great day.
Thank you so much, Sonia. And some big takeaways, everybody. When she did that, she didn't say, hey, we got this business. You can make upfront money, you can make residual income, you can get a $10,000 bonus check. She didn't vomit all over the prospect, you guys. What she did was she listened first. So that's always key. If you're calling a cold prospect, a lot of us have friends and family that all we have to do is pick up the phone and say, hey, do you trust me? And just say, hey, I need you at my house or something like that. So there's different ways that you can approach this. Good morning, Shauna, in the chat there. But so all you really have to do, everybody, is listen, find out their pain point. I call it a pain point. It's like everybody has a pain point. You find out their pain point, and then you invite. And then you invite, you guys, because it's going to be, and trust me, everybody you call is not going to say they want to listen. They're not going to give you time of day. Everybody's going to be different. But if you go back and you listen to like the recording from last week and you study the different types of people, the invitation is so easy. And I just want people I see a lot of events going up, and I know that y'all can pack the rooms out even more if you just get better at inviting. Now, you may not be great. I used to vomit over people every time I called them. I did. I was horrible at inviting. And then I got good. The way I got good, I heard somebody say this. I can't remember if it was I forgot exactly who it was, but it said, say less to more people. Meaning, if I call Marlene, I need to set a timer on my phone. I need to be up off that phone in like 2 minutes. I need to say less to more people. I just need to say, you don't need to go into details. That's what they're coming to the party for. That's what they're coming to the customer appreciation party for. That's what they're coming to whatever event it is that you have. You just want to get them there. Your job is just to fill the seats up, butts in the seat. You hear Brent Palmer talk about it all the time. He's been saying it for years. It's ingrained in my head, butts in the seat. Like, you need to just get people there. And the best way to do it is keep it simple. Ask them to bring something is another tip. When I was in college, I literally asked people to bring a bag of ice the day of. So I would call Tammy. I say, hey, Tammy, you told me you were going to come by this evening. I was just making sure that you were still going to be able to make it. Yeah, I'm still going to be able to come. Hey, Tammy, would it be hard for you or, to just grab a bag of ice for me? Oh, no, I could do that. Then next thing you know, I remember one time I did it. I had a couple of bags of ice, but one time I just called. I had almost 20 bags of ice. I was just like, well, I just put them in the backyard, but you just, because I had, people felt obligated to bring something. So, and then another thing is, if they are in driving distance from you, so now let's go to some of those local parties. If they're in driving distance and you're going to a party, pick them up. You want somebody to show up, say, hey, you know what? You don't even have to drive. I'm coming by to get you. You don't even have to drive. You know what? I'm coming to get you. Is you and your daughter? All right, y'all get on in. I got space for y'all. And then they automatically come in. So there's just some tips right there, you guys, on that. Be excited when you're inviting. I always say never try to invite somebody. I really even say never even try to talk about this business when you're down. So be excited. So whatever it is that makes you happy. If it's dancing, dance. If it's Maybe you like to get like the water. Well, go jump in your swimming pool or jump in the ocean real quick. Get out, get refreshed, and then make the invitation because now you're happy. Don't do it after you just had a horrible meeting at work and then you're trying to call and invite somebody. That energy flows, and it's very contagious. So they can feel that, you guys. I'm real big on that. So find something that make you happy. I always say find your favorite song, do some dancing, do something that's gonna brighten you up, make you feel good. So I encourage you that's a tip there when you're inviting, that's why I watched Sonya for years now. But she is the best because she's always happy. She's always happy. Like, so nobody ever knows what Sonya's going through life. Nobody ever knows. She's always excited, you guys. So just be excited there. And then remember, this is something that's always going on in my head. That's why I said say less to more people. How many, if you like movies, in the chat, put a 10, or if you got your camera on, raise your hand. If you like movies, put a 10, put a 10 if you like movies. So a lot of us like movies. Great. I love movies. I love me some action movies. I just love it. That's just me. That's one of my things I love to do. So we got all these people that like movies or TV shows, whatever it may be. Well, let me ask you this. Would you want your best friend or your sister or your mom to tell you about the whole movie that you have not seen? None of us do. Why do you think they have movie trailers? They get your attention, it's short and sweet, and then you do what? Then you go watch the movie. Whether you go to the movie theaters or you watch it on your TV streaming, right? So why are you trying to tell your friend and family member everything about the system, but you want them to still come to the event? Let me say it again. So you're on the phone. Hey, Mark, man, we can make a lot of money, man. We got all these types of things, man. We got this savings bonus, man. In fact, we got 9 different ways to get paid. Man, these drops transform a lot. I'm just over here vomiting on him, but I still want him to come to the presentation happening on Thursday. I just did everything. So why not just say, hey, Mark, Mark is my good friend. Mark, do you trust me? Yeah, I trust you. Yeah, I trust you. Mark, I need you to be at this event on Thursday. I need you at this event on Thursday. It's at 7 o'clock. It's right down the road. We can go together. Matter of fact, I'll come pick you up. Can I count on you to go with me? Bam. It's either yes or no. But I ain't sit up here and try to tell him the whole thing, because if I tell him the whole thing, he's going to be like, well, I know what one of those things are. I'm not coming. So, so just remember that. That's the way I always do it when I'm inviting somebody. I keep it nice, short, and sweet. I think of the invitation as a movie trailer. So I hope that helps somebody out there. Just keep it short and sweet. You wouldn't want nobody telling you all about the movie. So why not have them really sit down and hear about the presentation? But is there anybody out there who has any tips on inviting? Let's see who's on here. Marlene or TL, anything y'all want to add?
I think you've covered most of it. It's great.
Okay. Awesome. And
I'll add something if I can, Anthony.
Okay, there you go, Marlon.
I think the biggest thing for me has been building relationships. I'm driving to go to an event here in Fayetteville. I don't know how many are going to come. We're going to see, but if nobody shows up, we're going to turn it into a training, and we're going to talk about inviting. So we'll be better next time. But I think building a relationship with people before you just say, "Hey, will you look at something?" or they see your posts and stuff, and they do call you, and you start talking to them. Don't just start talking about the drop. Say, well, how are you? How have you been? What's going on? Spend the time, I think, to let them really trust you. And that's made a big difference for me, if that helps.
That helps out tremendously. And I love how you I love how you go into an event and you just said, even if nobody shows up, we still gonna make it happen. That's the way you work through the adversity, even if it shows up, Marlon. Way to go. That's why you're an amazing leader.
Well, this happened to me years ago in an old company with Susan Frank. And I invited, and I had a bunch of reps come, but no guests. And I was devastated because she had to leave the beach to come, you know? And she said, no problem. You know how Susan is. We're going to turn this into a training. So I learned from her. I mean, you know, you just want to emulate the people that are doing it and making it. And you know what, one way or another, we're going to have a group of us together. We're going to have some fun, and we're going to bond, and we're going to just grow and grow and grow. This is our first real event in Fayetteville for a little over a year now, especially since having the new system of growth. So I'm excited, whatever happens.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tammy, I see you unmuted. Did you have something you wanted to add, my friend?
Yes, Anthony. I'm kind of quirky about inviting because I want them to come with me. And so what I do is I challenge them. Well, what I do is challenge myself. I kind of fibble. Well, it's not even a fib because we challenge each other in our group. We tell them to tell them that they have been challenged by their business partners that they're working with to bring 5 people to this event. And you thought of them and you knew that they would help you out because they've went to places with you before. And so I picked you because all I have to have is 5. Will you let me come and pick you up? And can you make an opportunity to get to this event to see what I'm doing with my life right now? Because it's exploding on me. And I really would hate to see if you missed out on it because you're my friend. And it worked.
I love it. I love it. You know, I've done that with my family when I first got started over 12 years ago. I said, hey, I love and care about you. I need you to come by and hear about something. They said, well, what is it? Well, hey, I don't want to do you no disservice. I want you just to sit down and hear about everything because 5 years from now, I don't want you saying, hey, why you didn't tell me about that? So even though I've been in 12 years, I've been blessed. I've never had to go work for anybody. My family now understands 12 years later, some of them are now truly understanding like, hey, I wish I could have a life like you. Well, I'm like, hey, I shared this with you 12 years ago. But hey, I said, well, hey, guess what? It's never too late. It's never too late. It's never too late. So a lot of them are coming on board. A lot of them are saying, hey, you know what? Let me give it a try. Let me give it a try. Like my brothers who will be at the event in Illinois today, they understand now, even though it took them 12 years, but it's okay. They understand now. So, and then we had a question there. Yes, I pretty much, I don't want to do you no disservice. Hey, I just want you to come by and see it all like I did. I am very adamant on, I'm not budging. And I see Melissa Jackson on, she knows. If she asks me for a 3-way call, I'm not budging. I'm not giving in to the person saying they too busy. Well, you're going to be too busy until we set the appointment. I'm not budging. I'm not folding in. I'm not giving you no insight. You can ask me in 8 different ways. Guess what? The answer is always going to be, when do you have 15 minutes so I can show you? When do you have 15 minutes so I can show you? I remember hearing this story. I know we all on the drop, so this might be a little different. But who all in here likes cookies? If you like cookies, put a 2 in the comments. If you like any type of cookie, whether it's chocolate chip, sugar cookies, snickerdoodle cookies, macadamia cookies, see, we like cookies. A lot of us like cookies of some kind. We all like cookies. So this story stuck with me to the fullest, you guys. So if me and Richard, do you like cookies? You like cookies, Richard? Yep, it's okay. Richard.
Awesome.
Okay, what's your favorite kind of cookie, Richard?
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip cookies, man. I like chocolate too. So let's say we're making some chocolate chip cookies, Richard, and we just put them in the oven. We made enough so me and you could, eat our own cookies. But then we get a doorbell rings, a knock at the door, is TL. And in our mind, we're like, oh, TL is by. TL also likes chocolate chip cookies. And she comes in and we say, well, we don't want to be rude. And so we say, TL, would you like some cookies? And she says, what would you say? TL says yes. So now we got to share. But let's just say Marlene does not like chocolate chip cookies. So she rings on the doorbell. Let's just say she doesn't. In this example, let's say she rings the doorbell. Now we're like, oh man, now we got to split these cookies 4 ways if Marlene says yes. So now we go from Richard, me and you being able to have 6 cookies to now we might only get to have 3 cookies. Marlene says no. Are we upset that Marlene says no? No. Remember what you have. You got to look at Partner Co. as that cookie. You got the cookie. You don't have to fold and tell them any information. If you want them to see the whole presentation, you don't fold. You make sure that they sit down. If not, you just keep on going until they give you 15 minutes. Do not fold. Like, so that's easy selling drops because now we're just letting the pictures, the before and afters do all the work. But now you want to transition those people to a business, you need to get them to a presentation. I don't even think videos do much justice there because videos kind of hard. It's that you don't really get to, like, for me, I like to talk to people. I like to, if TL is a prospect, and she's a prospect of Marlene's, I love sitting down, really getting to know that person. That's me personally. So everybody's different, but that's the way I do it. Letitia's been calling me a lot, and that's the way I talk. I've been teaching her the same thing. Samantha's on here. I see her on. I do the same thing. If you ask Melissa and Andrew, I do them the same way. It's the same process with me. Hey, when can they get 15 minutes? We not gonna go on here trying to tell them about the business. If they want to know about how to make the money, we sitting down and do the presentation. Miss Linda, Illinois. It is in Chicago, Illinois. I just seen the flyer. It was one, but TL's on here. TL, go ahead.
And I love the cookie explanation. I think it's really fun. One of the things that I did learn from Eric Worre, and I think it was Eric Worre that said, say less to more people. He also said that if you phrase your invitation, if I, would you, and that's really been a big staple for me. Is so even sending out information, if I sent you a PDF, would you read it? And then it gives you an opportunity to sort of set another invitation to a follow-up. And so if I picked you up, would you be available on Saturday? If I pop by, would you have 15 minutes? If I called you on Thursday, would you be able to talk on a Zoom? Or if I set up my friend from, let's say it's Florida, and would you have 10 minutes to talk to him about your questions? So I really like that phrasing, and it feels more like not intruding, and it sort of sets you up to set up the next appointment. And I think that's the biggest thing about the invite is, if it is a no, to always leave room open for the next invitation.
Yep. And another tip, since we're still on invitation, I always give people 2 options too. So if you looking at your calendar, your availability. So I know my availability. So if I am calling TL and she wants to know about, how she can get her drops for free, how she can make some money with this, she want to go to the next level. For me, I'm like, well, okay, TL, does Tuesday or Thursday work best for you? I let her choose. Well, Tuesday works better. Okay, if I know my availability, well, does afternoon or evening work better for you? Well, the evening works better. Okay, well, does 5 o'clock or 7 o'clock works best for you? I know, so I always got 2 options for them. I let them choose, but they're sitting there on the appointment. Then I go back and confirm what they just said. So she said 7 o'clock. So now I say, well, hey, TL, okay, so TL, so you said Tuesday at 7 o'clock will work best for you, so you can jump on and we can do a 15-minute talk overview about how everything works. Yes, that works. Okay, great. So I'll call you on Monday and just to double check to see if Tuesday still works. And then I also follow back up with you Tuesday because I don't want to waste your time. I want to make sure that, and it's just a confirmation, but they're confirming what they already said they would do. They already gave you the time slot. And so I think Miss Anita, that was Miss Anita asked the question. She said some examples about how would if they said yes, they were available. So, okay, so I would use just what I just did right there. Miss Anita. And like I love giving two options. I'm always looking at my calendar when I'm saying yes, when I'm personally inviting. I'm always looking to see what available days I have, what available times I have. And then I'm going to that next step. That's how I set the appointment. I'm always there to set that appointment by keeping it open, by having your options available. I hope that helped, Miss Anita. I hope that answered your question there. And then, is Rob on here? Did Rob ever make it? Rob, are you on here? Rob Warnock? Are you? I know he said he was going to be possibly
believe
be able
so.
to. Rob, I know he was going to update a little bit.
Hey, Ant, yeah, I'm here.
Okay, awesome. Rob, for everybody who doesn't know, has a digital business card that he created that's very user friendly. It's a great, amazing tool. So he had an update that I said, well, Rob, come on Saturday morning, you can update. And then after Rob gets done, I will, for the last 15 minutes or so, I'll do a Q&A. If anybody got any questions that need to be answered, I'll do my best to try to answer.
Yeah, hey, thanks, Ant. I appreciate it. I'll be brief. Happy Saturday morning, everybody. So what I started working on this about a month ago, and it will be completed this week. And so, and I know for all of you people who have already signed up and have built your cards, and this doesn't necessarily pertain to you, but if you had questions, when you go back in, you'll see this week as you go back in, there'll be videos connected to each section. So for any new person that comes on board, what I'm trying to do is just minimize the learning curve of getting it built. And of course, I'm always accessible to try to help fix things or make things right if somebody gets confused. I'm just a text away. Just while we were on the call, was helping somebody fix a problem on their card. So I'm always here for that, but I'm trying to minimize the learning curve on getting it built. So right now we've changed it where 80% of the card's already built for you. You just have to enter some details, but to make it even a little bit easier, there'll be a video in each section. So if you're stumped on how to do that particular section, there'll be a link to a video. You can watch that. Once you update that section, you go to the next section. If you have a question on that, there's a video that speaks specifically to that section. So it's everybody who signs up gets the link to the YouTube from the Saturday training we did a month ago, which walks through it. But this will just break it down into little tidbits for each section, so that it'll just specifically focus on that section as you're building it. So that'll be by the end of the week. All those videos will be in there. So that will be actually by Monday. I forget what day it is. By Monday, that'll all be in there. So if you want to go back in and watch those videos and tweak anything, it'll be there for you to make it even easier.
And Rob, before you go though, because a lot of people on here have small businesses. So you're telling me this digital business, how many digital business cards can we have?
That is a very good question, and probably one of the coolest features that we built into this platform is that you can build up to 10 digital cards with one account. So, if you have a lawn care business, your partner co-business, a consulting business, and maybe you do another side hustle, you can build a card for each one of those companies with one account. I've seen several people in the business with us that have built one for recruiting, one for the system of growth, one for renew. So they've got cards for different functions, one for training, one that they built specifically, as we talked about, to send just to a new prospect, so they're not throwing up on them with too much information. They want to give them a little taste, so they'll build a card just for somebody who's taking a bite from maybe a Facebook post or something. So there are ways to do it to really make it work for you. And then as they get further in the conversation, then you can send them the full built out card that has all the information you want to give them. So there are many ways to use it. And like, great point, Anthony. Yeah, you can build up to 10 different cards with one account.
Yeah, I thought that was a cool feature. I'm still working on mine right now a little bit, but like I got one, I'm gonna have one just for the drops. I have one that's gonna be business or featured. Then I'm gonna have one that I have one of the superfood product, like the superfood overall better health. So that was something that I just was like, well, hey, it's a great tool. Whether you use it or not, that's the great thing about our company is we have several tools. Several tools. And I put Rob's phone number in the chat. There's also a website. Rob is by far one of the most hands-on people I've ever been able to work on. He's also in the business. So everything he's doing is because he's also doing it as well. and he's just learning ways that he can make it better for everybody. So he actually just hit Ultimate and Gold Friday. So he's rocking and rolling as well. So he's in the business as well. So but it's a great tool for everybody who his website, correct me if I'm wrong, Rob, is my biz, which is BIZ card, CARD .store. MyBizCard.store.
That's correct. And I see a couple of people in the chat asking about, how do you use it, or I don't know how to use it. So once you build your card and you open it, there's a preview button inside of your profile builder. When you open it on your phone, there's a button that allows you just to tap it, which says share info. And you can, while you're on the phone with somebody or in person with them, you can tap that and text all of your information straight to their phone. So that's how you actually get it you share it from phone to phone, or they can scan your QR code to open up all your information. Inside the digital cards, you can have Dr. Crystal's video at the top, which is what I have on mine. This kind of helps give it a little more credibility, explain the product a little more in detail. I have the link to the fat burning meals. So I have some information on there, and then they can actually, from your digital card, they can add you to their contacts. If there's an add to contact or save my info button, they tap that and they can add you right into their contacts in their side of their phone from your digital card. So it's there's also a form there if you want to collect their information. You can say, hey, share your information with me. They enter that information and it goes into your back office inside of your mybizcard.store account, so that you can collect their information and follow up with them as well. So it's about delivering information in a more efficient and effective way than handing them a business card or just sending them links. You're able to do it in a more professional manner. And again, they can save you to their contacts right from your digital card.
And I know next week, everybody. So I see a lot of questions next week. I do have it lined up with a couple of people who actually have been using it and what they've been using, how they've been using it. So next week, just mark it on your calendar. Same time, you hear from some people that are actually using it and having success using it as well. It's just another great tool, everybody. Thank you so much, Rob. You the best, man. And I did see Richard. Richard, I see your hand was raised. Did you have something?
Yeah, I was going to ask Rob, how many devices can you put that card on? Is it just for your iPhone, or can you put it on your
you can put it on Android. You can put it on you can use it on your it's not an app, so it's actually a website. So you can have it on your computer, you can have it on your on your phone. You can actually, I know on iPhone, we can actually save that whole little link right to our desktop like it's an app. And anytime we need it, we click on it and it pops up our information. I watched it firsthand with Misty. Misty did it with somebody just in full out action. It was so simple. I was like, oh, I need that.
Okay.
But
yeah, that's cool.
How about Mark? I see your hands raised.
Yeah, what would be the biggest difference between your link tree versus the digital card? What would be the differences and the benefits?
I'm not real familiar with the link tree to do a comparison. So I really don't use Linktree, so I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, well, I give my opinion, just because I study everything that's technology wise or website wise for the most part. Linktree is just where you can post all your links. See, here with Rob's, it'll collect all the information that you need, like the information that you need so you can do the follow-up. He even has a back office where it grabs everything and it'll save it. Plus, Linktree, you're really kind of stuck to what they have. Rob is very, 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 like, you can build it the way you want to, really. Like, he has a basic generic platform, like you can do it, but you really could change it all up if you want something different. So it's more user friendly. Linktree, you can't call Linktree and say, hey, I need you to change this because I want it like this to fit my business, but Rob is actually in the business with it. He's part of partner. He's our family, and he understands. He's running the system of growth. He's, if I'm not mistaken, almost about 40 boxes of drops already going. So he understands it. So it's more like, to me, that it's always better to have somebody hands-on that's in the field doing it than just kind of somebody from the outside looking in, to me personally.
Thank you, Ant. I appreciate that.
All right. So we're gonna have, I want to do Q&A. If y'all don't mind, I'll do Q&A for the last 15 minutes. So if you have any questions, feel free to unmute or raise your hand, whichever one, or type it in the comments. I'm here for y'all. Anything I can do to help. If there is any question. Oh, can customers save your card on their phone, not just contact information? Yeah. Oh, Rob already answered it. But any kind of questions, if y'all want to unmute or y'all want to ask it, feel free.
Hey, Andrew, Sean. I see a couple people in the chat getting confused between maybe those that have the digital card available on board and then what amazing stuff Rob's got here. Can you clarify that for a lot of people that are asking in the chat?
So you talking about the boards?
Yes.
What's the difference between boards and a digital business card? Is that
so on the boards? There's a way to do a digital business card, almost like the landing page. And so I just have seen a couple people asking about that incongruent with boards. So wondering if Rob could just clarify that for everyone.
Hi, Ant. This is Tom. I will say this, that I have the digital business card that Rob helped me make up, and I love it. But you can take that and add it to your boards as an item on boards. And once you have that digital business card in your boards, you can send it just like you do anything else in boards. Very handy.
Oh, that's
perfect, Tom. Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tom. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tom.
Hey, that's what we all here for. We all here to help each other with some tips. Any other questions or anything that anybody had that they wanted me to ask or answer or see if we can get answered? Well, okay. Well, I don't think we have any questions. So I thank y'all for showing up. I apologize for the last minute reminder. I thought somebody else was gonna run the call, but I'm here without a doubt, and I'll be here next week as well. But next week, I know for sure we'll line up. I'll get some people from that's using the card, that's having some success. I want them to come share some of the things that they're doing and how they're using it, because I believe that can really help out everybody. And also we'll have some social media tips next week. So I got lined up for some social media tips, everybody. So, all right, everybody. Well, y'all have a great and blessed Saturday. Love you guys, and we'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, Anthony.
Looking forward to next week.